This episode of Dueling Ogres features a short review of the Studio Tray Classic Blue earbuds. The current headphone market offers either technology or style. Studio sets out to bridge this gap by offering sleek, modern Scandinavian design elements while providing exceptional sound quality. The Tray Classic Blue earbuds are designed with an active lifestyle in mind, featuring custom interchangeable wingtips for a secure fit while also being sweatproof. It operates on Bluetooth 4.1, boasts over 9 hours of active use, offers exceptional mic clarity, and works wonderfully with Siri voice control. The Tray also offers full sound transparency so you can listen to your favorite tunes without losing touch with your surroundings. Studio has provided Dueling Ogres with a set of the Tray Classic Blues in exchange for these spots and have graciously provided us with a promo code to pass on to you. Click the link below to check out Studio's product line and use the promo code Dueling Ogres at checkout for 15% off of your total purchase. Shipping is always free worldwide. Thank you for listening, and enjoy the show.
Prepare yourselves for a battle of epic proportions between two titans. Feast upon their voices and revel in their words. This is Dueling Ogres.
Hello, Ogres, and welcome to episode 153. Thank you for joining us as always on this Infinite Wednesday evening, Earth date May 16th, 2018. I'm your host, Remington Hitchcock, and with me as always is my co-host, Brandon Full. Say hello, Brandon!
When the infinite universe stares you in the eye, you stare right back, Remington.
Unflinching and ready to fuck.
What was the second part?
Ready to fuck.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I heard you right, and I did.
You did. And also with us today, we have the incomparable, the undeniably annoying Bucky.
Hello, everyone.
That was harsh.
Was it harsh? Bucky, do you mind being called annoying?
Well, I've been called that my entire life, Remington, so even if I don't like it, I'm used to it by now.
See, there you go, Brandon.
Damn.
He's got a thick skin.
See, I feel
Not
like that
really.
was his
I'm probably
way.
going to cry into my pillow about this later.
Okay, fair enough.
We've caused a lot of people to cry into pillows on this podcast.
Yeah, you're nothing special.
Like Remington's neighbor boy.
Yes. Sorry if you heard a little bit of background noise. I should be able to clean most of it out, but I had a fan on and forgot to turn it off, so that takes care of that.
And it's about to get real steamy in here.
Yeah. No,
Good
seriously.
thing I'm not there.
Seriously, though, Bucky, I'm glad that you came on. I'm very excited to talk about Infinity War with you, seeing as how, of the three of us, you were the most excited to see it. I feel that has a lot to do with just me and Brandon being old and bitter and stilted about everything.
Yeah.
Probably.
So
Nothing brings me joy anymore.
yeah. Not even the look of the life draining the hooker.
Yeah, not even when I extend my finger and a blue bird lands on it. Even that does not give me joy anymore. And I used to love that.
Oh, I've never had that happen to me.
It's one of my favorite things.
Oh,
Hold on, watch. See, it just happened right now. Nothing.
No
Dead-eyed.
joy.
oh that sucks.
No smile, no frown, just deadpan expression.
That makes complete and total sense.
Are you saying Brandon's dead inside, Bucky?
I mean, I am too. I work retail, so...
Who the hell do you think you are coming on to our podcast?
Get out of here!
Get out of here!
Okay. Bye, guys.
So, this episode is going to be heavy spoilers. We mentioned it last week. Pretty much we're going to talk about Infinity War. Not beat by beat, but we're going to discuss very heavy spoilers.
But also beat by beat.
I just saw the movie again on Monday, so I'll be able to try to go past as good by memory as I can go, beat by beat. So
That's good, because I haven't seen it since you graciously bought me a ticket to go see it. So
And I've seen it twice now.
Yeah, so you and Brandon are the most prepared, but it's okay because you and Brandon would be the ones who were mostly talking about it anyway.
Oh joy!
So you have no thoughts on it whatsoever?
I have
going in?
thoughts. They're
It's
just
going to be a great fucking episode, Ram.
generalized
Totally
and
amazing.
overviewed.
Yeah.
Mostly because I haven't seen it in, 3 weeks now?
Something like that.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks? So while you guys are chit-chatting, I will be pulling it up on the computer.
Pulling
Okay,
up the
then.
movie?
Well, just pulling up stats and stuff. That's what
okay.
my plan is.
It's made all the money in the universe.
It has.
Pretty much.
It's the number 5 highest grossing film of all time.
Of all time. See, that's the information that I was going to pull up, Brandon, and you
It
just
hit
shot
$1
me in the
billion,
foot.
and it hit $1 billion in revenue in like 2 weeks,
You
or
got-
not even a week.
You guys are taking my job from me.
Yeah, we are.
I just
We're
know
trying to get
these,
that out of the
I just
way.
know these stats, Remington. I'm sorry.
You nerds.
And your point?
Oh, yeah. I guess this is a nerd podcast.
Yeah.
Huh.
Attempting to be.
Yeah. Vaguely. Just on the cusp of.
I feel like we laugh at ourselves enough to be nerds, even if the things we don't talk about are nerdy.
I mean, we still absolutely talk about nerdy things.
Space news.
Yeah.
Space news is totally nerdy.
Is it
Space
nerdy?
nudes?
Yeah, space nudes. Wait. Space nudes.
Totally.
Yeah.
So you want to get into this movie or?
Yeah, man, let's make this happen. So,
Yes. Spoiler warning.
spoiler warning for everybody. If you have not seen Infinity War or potentially any of the other Marvel movies that tie into Infinity War and are almost absolutely need to be seen when you watch Infinity War, then get out. I mean, I hate to lose a listener, but we're going to ruin everything for you.
Pretty
So,
much. Go see it. If you're one of those people who's looked up spoilers already without seeing it, 1, the heck is wrong with you? 2, get off your ass and go see it right now and give it more money.
Well, it doesn't really need any more money. It's made all the money
I don't
in the world.
care. It really has.
So what movies do you need to have seen to understand Infinity War? Most of them?
I watched all of them before seeing this, except Thor: The Dark World, which honestly, if you haven't seen them all before, you should see, because spoiler alert for Thor: The Dark World, it does have to do with an Infinity Stone in it.
Okay.
And then Iron Man 3, they vaguely mention in the beginning of the movie. They reference it vaguely, but then that's the only thing. So
Okay.
other than that, they're all fairly important.
Did they
Except
go to
maybe
the
the
Forge
Hulk.
in Thor: Dark World?
No, they do not. The Niveldalir,
Yeah.
that was that's Infinity War only. Hasn't been
okay.
seen before.
Right,
Other than
because
in like comics, but
we hadn't seen the dwarven giant,
giant Peter Dinklage.
in
Yeah.
any of the movies beforehand.
In the first
Because I
Thor
remember,
movie-
when we were first seeing the actor lists coming out for Infinity War, there was a lot of talk about who Peter Dinklage was going to be playing.
Yeah, people
Right.
thought he was going to be Thanos.
Yeah, totally.
no one thought he was going to be Thanos. Because Thanos already showed up in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
That
They could have made
doesn't
him the Dink
count.
if they really wanted to.
What is it?
I said they could have made it the Dink if they really wanted to.
Yeah, they could have. The Dink.
I had heard that he might be playing Pip the Troll,
Yeah.
and then I saw a Nerdist video. A lot of people thought he might have also been playing Corvus Glaive, which was one of the Black Order.
Okay. So if you're gonna throw names around, Bucky, assume
Yes.
that people are like Brandon and I who haven't read comics in a while.
Okay, well, you mean add me to that list, because I haven't read the comic that the Black Order came from.
Okay, fair enough. So you just know that the Black Order exists, but you know nothing about
Yes,
them.
I know they exist, and I know all of their names except the giant one.
So at least you're on par with us talking about stuff that you don't know a thing about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I still know more than you guys based off of everything I've had to correct in the Discord that you've said. But
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was going to say to shut the hell up, but You know, when he's right, he's right.
Right.
When you're right, you're right.
Okay, so do you want to just hit the movie from the beginning?
Yeah, so let's start off getting some overview. Brandon,
Have you guys seen Thor Ragnarok?
Yes.
no.
Okay.
I will say
Remington.
I will say this. I came into watching Infinity War being woefully behind on all of my Marvel movies.
I know that. I asked you when we saw it. but
Right,
still.
exactly. I'm saying it for the listeners, Bucky. Keep up.
Okay.
So how confusing
keeping
was
up.
it to you?
It really was not confusing to me at all. I was engrossed in the movie simply because the movie was really good.
Yeah.
So I don't feel
It really
like,
was.
and even though I have a shitty memory for things and I'm behind on my movies, I'm pretty good at tying things together and just saying, okay, this is stuff that, you know, if I go back and watch Thor Ragnarok, I'll have an understanding of.
I can assume that they ended the movie on this spaceship that
Yeah,
Infinity
exactly.
War is starting with.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
So I can put that stuff together. I'm smart enough to piece it all together.
Yeah.
But not everybody has that kind of mental build where they can say, wait, I don't know why we're picking up here and what's going on. So I understand
Yep.
that. So let's take a minute to take a overview real quick before we jump right into the beginning of the movie.
Just general thoughts about the whole movie.
Just general thoughts about the whole
Okay.
thing. We talked about it a little bit last week, but Brandon, what were your thoughts on the movie?
I really liked it. That's it.
It
I thought it was a good movie.
was good movie.
Okay, so you guys went and saw it in theaters.
Yes.
Yeah.
I watched it at home with a Mexican handycam version that I found online
right.
because I didn't want to go to the theaters.
Yes.
So it was pretty good. There was some stuff I couldn't hear
Yeah.
because the audience was talking.
Okay.
And there were certain parts. One of my favorite parts of the movie is where a giant audience member's head goes into the screen for about 5 minutes. It was really avant-garde and weird, but I liked it.
It was a definite directorial choice.
Yeah, and the laugh track really helped me understand. But no, honestly, I mean, whenever it comes out, I'm going to buy the movie.
Right.
I don't feel like it lost that much the way I watched it. It
Oh,
was
yeah?
like watching it on a VCR. It was pretty bad quality. But I still watched it twice. I watched it once by myself, and then about a week later, I watched it with my girlfriend.
So when you say Mexican handycam, like, was the movie in Spanish?
It was actually Portuguese, so it was probably Brazilian. But no, it was in English and had English subtitles. But then whenever, like, you first see the Guardians of the Galaxy and it says space,
Yeah.
that was in Portuguese.
I mean, that makes sense. I'm sorry. I'm disappointed in you. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
But it was pretty good.
I love it so much. What a way to experience a fucking Marvel movie.
It's how I watched Last Jedi, too.
Oh my god.
And it's how I'll probably watch Deadpool on Monday.
Oh, I'm dying.
So, but
Slowly.
yeah,
Banging my head against the wall.
all of that aside, like, yeah, I didn't see it in IMAX. I didn't see it on the huge screen, all the amazing special effects and stuff.
Right.
So I didn't have that wow factor to it.
Yeah.
It's more invested in the story and the characters because there's not a lot of eye candy, obviously. There's not a lot of stuff that's like, ooh. And I really liked the story. It kept me engrossed. In movies, it's very hard for a movie to keep me engrossed.
Right.
Mhm. Especially one that's 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah, Jesus. I think my version might have had less because my version was 2 hours and 17 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
But it didn't have the credits or the after credits scene on it.
Okay, I got you.
Aw.
So I think that must have been it. So I haven't seen the after credits scene. I know what it is, but
Okay, cool.
I feel like the part... No, we'll get to it later. Go ahead.
Okay. So, Bucky, of course, the fanboy. What were your thoughts overall on the movie?
Overall on the movie, I have to say, as someone who has seen every single Marvel movie in theaters since Iron Man came out in 2008 when I was 10, oh my god, it was so good.
Was it
I
your
love
favorite?
it so much.
Was it your favorite Marvel movie?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Just seeing all of the characters on there. And I know as soon as Avengers 4 comes out, it's going to blow Infinity War out of the water.
Do you think so,
But-
though?
Because we all know people died in the movie.
What?
You don't
And
worry about getting
there-
spoilery. It's cool.
I know,
we
but-
warn them.
I'll save for who toward the end of toward when we get to that part of the
Okay, cool.
podcast for beat by beat, but most of them are coming back.
Right, for sure.
Because like two of them have movies slated that have been announced that are coming up.
Right.
So those two are coming back. I feel like the people who are going to die permanently are going to be people who didn't die in this movie. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel the same way. That they're going to die because we see right when the movie opens, you see Loki and Heimdall just killed.
Yeah,
Thanos kills them
Gone.
both.
And oh my lord, Loki dying. One, why Marvel? But at the same time, what a way to go by saying like, here's the Tesseract. Also, we have a Hulk. Boom.
Yeah,
Right.
That's just a throwback to the first Avengers, and it's
Yeah.
so good. I'm sorry, I'm lost for words when it comes to this movie. It's so good.
Then why do I
I've
even have
invested
you
10
on this
years into this shit.
podcast?
yeah, that's a good point.
Because I'm gonna try my best, Remington.
I guess that's all we can ask for. That's all we do.
Yeah, and sometimes I don't even try my best.
So my thoughts on the movie overall were, like I said, we talked about it last week a little bit, but I really, really enjoyed it. I'm in a similar vein with you, Brandon. A movie has to do a good job at keeping me invested in it. And throughout the whole thing, I was invested in the movie. I did not want to get up and go pee 3 times, even though I had to.
You peed 3 times?
3 times during the film, I had to get
It
up
was
and
very
go.
annoying.
It was very annoying. It was
Jesus.
annoying to me, too.
It's only like a 2.5 hour movie.
I know, but
I think I got up once.
what it is Bucky's friend jinxed me because I got a drink and he's like, I don't drink anything during a movie. He was like, I never want to get up. And I was like, no, I'll be fine. I have a huge fucking bladder. And then he jinxed me and I had to go pee 3 times.
So he did some Stephen King type curse on your bladder.
Well, he sat beside of me and constantly was poking me in the bladder.
Oh, he was milking you like you do a kitten to make it poop?
Yes.
What?
Milking kitten poop out of me, yes.
Yeah. That's a horrific image.
Yes, it is.
I don't even know what Bucky's friend looks like, but I'm picturing the Ebony Maw from Infinity War, the wizard guy, the Squidward guy. I'm picturing
Get
that
lost,
as Bucky's
Squidward.
friend.
What was that friend's name, Bucky? I don't remember.
The one on the other side of me or the other side of you? That was Jeremy.
Okay, Jeremy. Hi, Jeremy, if you're listening.
He's not.
He's not.
He's not. Neither is the other one.
Yeah, jerks. Bucky, why aren't you spreading the good word of this podcast?
Oh, I've tried.
We need to
People just aren't interested.
get Bucky business
More or
cards.
less.
It's not like I don't have enough of them.
Yeah, I'm still sitting on a shit ton of.
Yeah, but you don't talk to people.
I wore this
And-
shirt to work today.
That's good.
I
Brandon
only
is wearing
talk
his
to the
official.
people-
Shut up for a second. Brandon is wearing his official Dueling Ogres t-shirt.
Was it worth it to tell him to shut up?
It's
for that?
completely available on duelingogres.com/bazaar.
That's bizarre like a bazaar, not bizarre as in how bizarre.
Right. A bazaar is in a store.
Yes.
Balthazar.
Bazaar. Did you check my spelling mentally?
Yes. That's what I was doing. My brain paused for a second. Like, is that right?
I wish I had that on video because he looked down and you could just see it, the letters playing out in his head, and he was like, It was really good. So going back to my thoughts on the movie, overall, it kept my attention. I really didn't want to get up and go. A lot of times, but even though that there were times that I left, the pacing of the movie was incredible. It was so good that it was easy for me to see, okay, this will be a point where I can go pee and not have to worry about missing some pivotal piece of information.
Which you were probably wrong because this movie throws so much information at you and so much stuff happens all the time.
Well, and maybe that's it. Maybe there was so much information being thrown at me that I thought that the least important information was the best time for me to go pee. But I could be wrong, so I'll have to rewatch it in order to see if I missed anything that was pivotal.
It's definitely worth a rewatch. Because Bucky, you've seen it, 3 times now?
3 times now, yeah.
And one of those was in IMAX, correct?
Yep. Last one on Monday was an IMAX.
So tell us about the difference in your experience between regular and IMAX.
One, the sound quality in IMAX, I could hear a couple of things that I didn't hear the first 2 times I saw it.
Okay.
Just because the quality of sound at the theater we have is subpar compared to IMAX.
Okay.
And then visually, it was just like, it was a lot more clear and crisp, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's like the best way I can describe it. But like when you're sitting in the IMAX theater and then your seat starts rumbling when the Avengers theme plays.
Yeah.
It's just like, yes.
They have rumbly seats in IMAX?
No, that's just what the speakers do.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a whole thing.
That's just the bass of the speakers.
How iconic would you say the Avengers theme is now?
Oh my lord. I have to say it's my favorite theme of all time. I'm putting that out there. It's my favorite.
You think it's up there with
time.
Indiana Jones and Star Wars at this point?
Yep. Because while I love those other themes, the Avengers theme is the only theme that I can consistently hear, no matter how I hear it, and it gives me chills every time.
Yeah.
Because like one day I wasn't doing anything, so I was driving around Marietta, and I just had the theme playing on a loop, and every time it got to the big da 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 da, just
right.
chills every time without fail.
So you're just blasting this driving around?
Yup, full, all the windows down, volume all the way up, bass turned all the way up, annoying literally everybody I passed, and I didn't care.
Did you feel like a superhero?
Yes.
So
even though as everyone else was like, this fucking prick.
So just to touch on bases from the 2 seconds that I have done of research, it looks like the difference between IMAX versus what they call Academy format, which is what I guess you would call your standard format. Academy format is on 35 millimeter film. It's 21.95 millimeters by 18.6 millimeters. And IMAX format is on 70 millimeters. So it's 70 millimeter by 48.5.
Jesus.
So the actual film itself is bigger, which means that essentially the picture coming out of it is going to be easier to magnify.
Okay.
I would say. So you get a crisper image out of it. Also, something that apparently that this QUORA, I don't actually know how to say that. It's like an answers site or something like that. Quora?
That sounds right.
A commenter also stated that one thing that they had missed was that IMAX is designed to fill more of your field of view with the image than a conventional theater.
I had noticed that when I saw it in IMAX.
In large IMAX theaters, this is done by using a really large screen, 80 by 100 feet wide, with a steep seating deck that is relatively close to the screen.
Yep.
So you saw it Monday, you said?
Yep, in IMAX.
Was the theater full?
Nope. There were, other than me and my buddy who went with me, there were 3 other people in the theater.
Nice.
Oh, wow. So it's starting to kind of peter out then.
It was also noon on a Monday.
And IMAX is typically more expensive, isn't it?
It was, one ticket was $16.
Versus
Crazy.
Down here,
yeah.
when I bought tickets down here, it was $8.50 a ticket.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, almost double the price for
it was
an IMAX.
Completely worth it, though.
Yeah. Which is good. I mean, at least you got what you thought was your money's worth out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Not being sarcastic when I say what you thought, but
Yeah.
Genuinely. All right, so now that we've got our overviews out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right into
Wait a second, you bitch.
Whoa!
I have a...
It's almost like we planned that, because you certainly wouldn't
totally
say that to me in real life.
At all. But yeah, I found this graphic online that showed some of the different characters, mainly the main Avengers and Thanos, and it showed like how much screen time they actually had per character in the movie.
Yeah.
and it's a lot less than you'd think.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
It's like,
they covered a lot of people in it.
yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, they had to have limited screen time. But that makes you think, okay, this actor got paid how much exactly for this limited screen time?
Yeah. And there's obviously deleted scenes and stuff like that, but from the final product, this is the Black Widow had 5 minutes of total screen time.
Okay.
Drax had 4 minutes of screen time.
No, Drax was not in the movie.
Oh yeah, you're completely right. He was not. Mantis had 4 minutes of screen time.
Wow, really? 4? I thought it was less.
Yeah. Black Panther only had 3 minutes of screen time.
That sounds about right.
The Hulk had 8 minutes of screen time.
Now, the Hulk or Bruce Banner or both?
Just Bruce Banner. They just have a picture of the Hulk.
Okay.
Spider-Man had 7 minutes of screen time. Captain America and Rocket Raccoon both had only 6 minutes of screen time each.
Okay.
Doctor Strange had 11.5 minutes.
Makes sense.
Star-Lord had 10 minutes. Vision and Scarlet Witch both had 9 minutes each.
Okay.
Thanos had 29 minutes of screen time. Gamora had 19.5 minutes. Iron Man had 18 minutes. And Thor had 14.5 minutes of screen time. That's all it goes into. But
wow. Okay.
it's
So
a
when
lot. Like, I remember first seeing this, and I was like, that's a lot less than I thought.
Yeah, for sure.
I knew Black Widow was in it not very much, but 5 minutes
No.
is surprising to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
guess-
she was mostly there for fight scenes by and large.
Yeah, exactly. But still, in my mind, those fight scenes lasted longer than they obviously did.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, the when I saw that, it was like, for some of the characters, it's a lot shorter than you would have thought.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes down to it, this was Thanos' movie.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, it was.
absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
And
it
he was such a good villain.
I think, all right, let's talk about Josh Brolin's performance as Thanos real
Yeah.
quick.
Amazing.
As far as it goes, I thought that the performance was good. I mean, was
Yeah.
exceptional. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll go above saying good. What
And the writing on him was great, too.
kind
his
of
character.
bugged me was that I always pictured Thanos' voice to be deeper.
Yeah.
And it's just because of the size of him. I mean, he towers over everybody. Thanos is, what, a 10-foot tall being?
I would say close to, yeah.
He's about the same size as the Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Height-wise, anyway.
So when you have something that big, that just means that their vocal cords are bigger as well.
Yeah.
So having this small, even though Josh Brolin's voice is very good and gravelly through that, it didn't sound deep enough to me. If it was just a half octave deeper, I think it would have been fine for me. And this is all just audio bullshit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is the product of me spending so much time with headphones on my head and thinking about sound design.
Should we get into the movie proper?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay,
Starts
so
out.
yeah, go ahead and start us out, Bucky. Let's do the
Okay.
recap. You have it freshest in your head.
Starts out with a silent Marvel Studios logo.
Right?
Doesn't have the fanfare as normal, so you know shit is getting fucked up. And then you just hear a distress call from the ship that was carrying what was left of the Asgardians.
Okay. Now
Then it opens
this is picking up from the tail end of
directly
Thor
after
Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok.
Right. Okay.
The final end credit scene of Ragnarok was them all was Thor and Loki in the ship.
Right.
And then they're just standing there bullshitting. And then they look out at the window and Thanos' massive ship is there.
Okay.
Yeah, it ends literally with Thor being like, I think everything's going to be okay. And then you see
Fuck.
Thanos' giant ship, yeah.
He can't catch a break.
No,
But
he really
then-
can't.
But then you go in and you see just bodies just everywhere.
Right.
While you hear Ebony Maw going like, hear me and rejoice.
Right.
Ebony
Then
Maw is my
Heimdall's
favorite
just laying
character.
there. Heimdall's just laying there.
Yeah.
It's like, the fuck? And then it just pans over to Thanos, and then he picks up Thor. And then you see on the gauntlet that he already has the Power Stone from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
Right.
And they explain later in the movie that a week before the events of Infinity War, he destroyed Xandar and had taken the Power Stone.
Right. So, Brandon, going back to it, Ebony Maw is your favorite character?
Yes.
Okay, and why is that?
Awesome wizard.
Awesome wizard?
Yeah.
Ebony Maw strikes me as being your favorite character. Like, I thought of you when he came on.
Well, like, I always like the professor kind of characters. Not professor like studies, but a professor like what he's doing for Thanos.
Yes, yeah.
I find those characters interesting anyway.
Yeah.
And then when you see him a little bit later fighting Doctor Strange and the way he just barely moves his hands and makes all these things fly around.
Yeah.
I don't know what his powers are. I don't know if he's just a wizard or whether he has more of like magnetic powers.
Yeah.
What it is
I'll say
specifically.
this. Yeah, in the movie, Ebony Maw has a lot more powers than he does in the comics.
Okay.
In the comics, he has no magical power or anything.
Okay. Gotcha.
He's just Thanos' announcer.
No, he does have a power, but it's not like strength, speed, magic, anything like that.
Okay.
He has the power to be able to convince pretty much everyone to do whatever he says.
Okay, so he has the power of oratory.
Kind of. Like,
Gotcha.
he tells
Oral
you, hey,
powers.
Remington, go pick up a sock 3,000 miles away. You would go pick up a sock 3,000 miles away.
Well, I mean, if the sock was worth it, yeah.
No, you would do it because that is how Ebony Maw works.
See, he doesn't even need to be Ebony Maw, and you're already half convinced.
Yeah, exactly.
Was the sock? Is the sock worth it?
I
I don't
mean-
know. How nice of a sock is it?
Yeah, is it a good sock?
No.
Is it Dobby's sock?
Yes, it is a good sock.
Will I
Dobby's
become
sock.
free afterward?
No, you will
Damn.
not.
Damn. Okay,
It's a
so
sock that has an Infinity Stone in it, and then you have to give it to Thanos.
okay,
But
so
anyway.
so Bucky, you said that you had read what now in preparation for this?
I am working my way through Infinity Gauntlet, which is one of the two. Well, you know, with the Marvel movies, they always take a bunch from a bunch of different storylines, and they sometimes even make up some of their own. But
Right.
they did Infinity Gauntlet. The two major ones they used were Infinity Gauntlet, which I'm not 100% sure when that came out.
I feel like it was early to mid 90s.
91. Came out in 1991, which is when the first Infinity Gauntlet comic came out. And that had the main, like, oh, hey, I'm going to just destroy everyone and stuff like that. It didn't have the Black Order or anything like that. Another comic that came out, I saw at Asylum, and Jordan told me it came out in like 2008, and it's just called Infinity. From my understanding, I haven't read it, but from my understanding, it's a lot like just a retelling of Infinity Gauntlet with changes. So they use those two different stories as a combination.
So they retell the story, they just change some stuff?
Or it was just a different I don't know. Comics are weird.
Yes, comics are very weird. It's hard for me to ever keep track of stories because I've
Right.
read the Infinity Gauntlet series, the 90s version.
Hmm. Yeah.
But Ebony Maw, I think, is a newer character.
Yeah, he was in the 2008 run.
Does he look in the comics how he does in the movie?
From the very few pictures I've seen a long time ago, yes. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
More or less exactly the same.
Yeah, I just did a Google image search.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
basically exactly the same.
But then, Thanos is just like, hey, give me the Tesseract. Thor's just like, Tesseract was destroyed. Loki's just like, here. Thor's just like, fuck you. We have a Hulk. And then the Hulk gets his ass handed to him
Yeah, which
for the first time ever.
isn't a very important part of this movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
it's
it's
very-
kind of a recurring theme that Hulk gets the shit kicked out of him early with Thanos.
Yeah. So
and he's scared now.
well, that's what people are thinking. Anyway.
I mean,
I-
that's got to be what it is.
Well, now I will say this: who was the director? Or Kevin Feige is producer, or
Yeah.
he's like the head Marvel dude.
right?
Yeah.
I think it was in an interview Kevin Feige, perhaps, or maybe it was the director of the movie. I'm
Russo
not 100%
brothers?
sure. They were talking about, or there was a lot of people who were kind of confused as to why the Hulk was appearing on the posters of the movie when he was decidedly absent from the movie. It was mostly Bruce Banner who was in the actual film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of have to take them as two separate characters because in a lot of ways they are. And a lot of people were saying that the Hulk was too afraid to come out and help out with Thanos. And Joe Russo answered with, quote, "I think people have interpreted it as Hulk's scared. I mean, certainly that's not I don't know that the Hulk is ever. He's had his ass kicked before and he loves a good fight, but I think that it's really reflective of the journey from Ragnarok. These two characters are constantly in conflict with each other over control. And I think that if Hulk were to say why, it'd be that Banner only wants Hulk for fighting. I think the Hulk, has had enough of saving Banner's ass." So, in Russo's mind, at least, it seems like he is insinuating that the Hulk wasn't necessarily scared to come out and fight. It's that's not what he only wants to be recognized for. He doesn't want to be the thing that gets the shit beat out of him all the time. He wants to have his own identity.
Because since Ragnarok, since the end of Age of Ultron, I guess, he would have, because he never turned back to Bruce Banner between that and Ragnarok.
Right.
He developed more emotions than just anger and smash.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a scene in Ragnarok towards the end where Bruce Banner is going to jump in to help Thor and Valkyrie fight.
Right.
And he's on a spaceship and he's like, "Here, let me show you. I'm going to get my friend involved." And he jumps out of the spaceship and he's going to turn into Hulk in midair. And you see him fall and then just go thunk, and just hit the ground, like flayed out as Bruce Banner. And then he turns into the Hulk. But that kind of is indicative of their relationship.
Yeah.
Is the Hulk doesn't come out in midair like he does before.
Yeah.
He comes out a little bit later. The Hulk, you haven't seen Ragnarok, but the Hulk doesn't want to be the Hulk so much. Like, the Hulk doesn't want to be, like the interview there said, doesn't want to be just the creature that's getting his ass kicked and fighting all the time.
Right, yeah. And I think that's a fair assessment, as the Hulk gains more sentience in this world, as he becomes a more fleshed out character, that he would most certainly want to have more airtime himself.
Yeah.
And being himself and exploring his feelings versus Bruce's feelings.
Yeah, I mean, in Ragnarok, he's hanging out in hot tubs and eating giant gourds and stuff.
Yeah.
Having conversations.
So I think that, and I like that plot point that Russo points out, I think that adds a little more depth to it. Because I'm of the mind as well that I don't think that the Hulk was scared by any means. I think he was more making a point, like, listen, we're in this together, and I have to have equal billing as well.
Yeah.
You can be Bruce Banner, but I am the Hulk, and I need some fucking respect.
See, I didn't take it as the Hulk is just shit his pants scared, more that the Hulk isn't used to losing, because in Ragnarok he was pretty much undefeated until he fights Thor in the arena.
Right.
So now that he has been beaten, he's more like, oh, I don't want that to happen again.
Yeah. I guess that could be at least part of it, for sure.
I think it's very complex.
Yeah.
Or he's saying it's complex. I think they just didn't want to add the Hulk into it.
Yeah.
Because, the Hulk is going to be featured pretty prominently in Avengers 4, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because, as we mentioned, spoilers, a lot of characters die, and we'll get to those there at the end. But the original Avengers, I don't feel like the characters that died in this one are going to be back until close to the end of Avengers 4. I think Avengers 4 is really going to be...
I'd say midway or toward the end.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be the original Avengers movie again. Avengers 4 is going to follow a lot of the original 6 again.
Yeah. I just want the big splash page shot of literally everyone against Thanos with the theme and, just nerdgasm.
I'm sure that'll happen, too.
So let's continue on then with the movie. So we haven't really touched on a whole lot yet.
No,
yeah,
just,
literally
just
the
at
first
the opening.
scene.
Yeah,
we haven't even gotten to the title card yet.
Right, so let's speed it up a little bit, Bucky, because we're relying on you.
So then Hulk gets his ass handed to him. Heimdall's just like, give me the power, and then throws Hulk using Bifrost powers.
Right, he sends him to Earth, okay.
And then Heimdall dies. Thanos gets the time stone, or the space stone, my bad. And then kills Loki.
Right.
Rip in peace.
You don't have
And
to
then
say
he-
you don't have to say rip in peace because rip is short for
Yes.
rest in peace.
It's
I know.
It's an internet thing.
Rem, I work for the Department of Redundancy Department. Okay.
It's the kids' internet thing.
Fucking
Remington.
kids and their stupid internets. Okay, go ahead, Bucky.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
And
My
then-
apologies. I'll let you make my podcast dumber.
Yes. So after that, Hulk. It cuts to the Sanctum Sanctorum, where Doctor Strange and Wong are just like, talking about going to the deli to get some lunch.
Right, for sure.
You just see in the reflection in the window, just like this comet-looking thing, but it turns out to be the Hulk. Then he just goes straight through the roof, turning back into Bruce Banner, being like, "Thanos is coming," and then it's the title card, the da 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 da.
Well, and that
was
is a
amazing.
direct nod to the comics where it's the Silver Surfer who does that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know that, Bucky? Did you know
I
that?
haven't gotten very far in Infinity Gauntlet yet.
So yeah, but the scene itself is almost a verbatim recreation, only they have replaced Silver Surfer because of rights issues more than anything. I would
Which
say.
hopefully
partially
aren't
rights,
going to be too much anymore.
partially rights issues, but partially because the Hulk is a more prominent character anyway.
The movie
Yeah.
is busy as it is. Can you imagine if they had the rights to the Fantastic Four also?
Yeah,
And
for
all of
sure.
the Fantastic Four Rogues Gallery to throw in there too?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. But then, title card, and then you see Tony and Pepper running around talking about having a kid or something.
Right.
I wasn't really paying too much attention. And then
Strange shows
Doctor
up,
Strange comes out of nowhere and is like, "Hey, come with me."
and he's
Right,
like, "But
Thanos
really?"
is a thing.
And I mean, Thanos at this point is he has already sent his minions to Earth,
Yeah. They haven't
and
shown up yet. They are about to.
right. So let's get to that point.
So then, they're sitting there talking. And then they get the phone out from Civil War. He's about to call Steve Rogers to
Right.
get Vision, who has the Mind Stone. Be like, "Hey, we need to take him somewhere to protect him."
Right.
And then he gets it out, and then he sees like trees like flying around out the window and people running away.
Right.
Closes the phone, goes outside. They see the giant shit donut in space.
The donut ship, Ebony
Yes.
Mall's donut ship.
Yes, and then they're all standing there being like, "Okay, Squidward, get out."
Right.
And then Bruce Banner is standing there, can't get it up because men of that age. And then
Well, and what
And
Bucky
then-
means by that is he's trying to call forth the Hulk, and the Hulk is not coming. So
No, Bruce
the
Banner's
Hulk is
literally
like,
just
"Fuck
trying
you."
to get an erection.
yeah.
It was a really weird part of the movie. I didn't know why that still called it PG-13, but hey.
Come on, buddy, I need you.
God damn it. But then Tony Stark gets out his nanite suit, which is very similar to how the Black Panther suit works. His
Yeah.
new one from the Black Panther movie.
Right.
And then, Spider-Man and Stan Lee are there talking about spaceships,
It's my favorite Stan Lee cameo.
Okay.
right?
So let's touch on the cameo real quick. So Peter Spidey's sense goes off. He looks back and he notices the donut ship descending upon the city, and he calls his little chunky friend for a distraction. It's okay if I
Ned.
call him Chunky because
It's
I'm
Ned.
chunky
His
too.
name is Ned.
Chunky
his name is Ned.
friend, comic relief, hashtag not worth mentioning.
Okay. Whatever you say.
Calls for a distraction, and
He
Stan
doesn't
Lee
hear Peter Parker at all. He just is like, "We're gonna die."
and Stan Lee pops in as the bus driver.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yep.
what does he say? Do you remember?
You kids act
Yeah,
like you've
he-
never, or have you kids never seen a spaceship before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. True believers.
It's just the most gruff, like, Stan Lee.
I'm so
out of all of
grumpy.
them. Never seen a spaceship before.
So
And, what I love about that too, I'm sorry because
No, it's okay.
such a small thing, is that it really establishes in this world now that New York less than 10 years ago had aliens fucking like whale-sized aliens invading it.
yeah.
So
Right.
now to this bus driver, this is just old hat.
Yeah.
Like, why are you kids even bothering to look at this? You've never seen a spaceship before. I'm just going to keep driving.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So Peter jumps off the bus and then goes to help Iron Man and Doctor Strange. And
He's like,
Stanley's
yeah,
bus driver
there
just keeps going.
Are
Yeah.
aliens from space, and they are trying to capture a stone that is around the neck of a wizard.
And I love that Iron Man
So-
continues to call him the Wizard. Or
So-
refers to Doctor
Tanner,
Strange
you're
as the
embarrassing me
Wizard
in front of the
over and over.
wizards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That was a little piece of the movie that I really enjoyed too.
Yeah. So it
Yeah.
makes you wonder if it was written in like that or if that's just what Robert Downey Jr. decided to call them.
You're embarrassing me in front of the
I'm
Wizard.
still
That's
mad
fine.
that I'm still mad that Iron Man or Doctor Strange never said "Oh shit, Sherlock" to each other.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they both did play Sherlock, didn't they?
They both did.
Apparently, everyone was trying to get that line in the movie and didn't.
Yeah. All right. So now we have a face-off between Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Ebony Maw, and whatever the ancillary character.
Still don't know the giant guy's name.
Yeah.
Big guy with an axe.
Big guy with an axe and
Looked more like a safe.
whatever. So they're
Distraction.
fighting each other, and then also at the same time, isn't it? That they are fighting that the other two land to engage Vision? Or is that a little bit further down?
I think it's implied, but it's two different. But that's later. I
Right.
think it's implied that it's no. That was after.
Okay.
Vision was after because they're walking around in Scotland and they're outside of some kebab place, and on the TV they're just like, New York has been attacked again, god damn it, by aliens. And
Oh, yeah,
Tony
that's
Stark
true.
has gone missing.
Yeah, so all of this stuff happens. Spider-Man shows up, and effectively Ebony Maw captures Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange loses the fight. Ebony Maw takes him. Peter Parker chases
Spider-
after and ends up on the ship as the ship
with
is
the Iron
leaving.
Spider suit.
Yeah, because Iron Man tells him, follow the wizard.
Right.
So Iron Man flies up there with him, and Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man end up on this ship, hurtling through space back towards Thanos.
Right.
Titan.
Back towards Thanos on Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Don't make small corrections, Bucky. It takes up time.
I
We
will
know
make
what
all of the corrections.
we know what we meant. You know what we meant. Let's move on.
The audience doesn't know what you meant.
They do.
The audience expects us to be wrong on a lot of things.
Exactly.
You're right. I've come to accept that.
So, what happens after that? Because I honestly do not remember what the next scene is.
After that, they cut to space.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is this the Guardians?
Guardians. Yeah. Then the
Okay.
Guardians are coming in, singing a song. Drax is asleep. Teenage Groot is having teenage angst.
Right.
And then, which, just, yes. And then, and then they're just like, let's go save this distress signal. Like, oh my god, what happened? And then random Thor slams on their windshield.
Right. Right.
So
And
they're
Rocker's
going
like,
to
oh, ew,
answer-
gross, get it off.
They're going to answer the distress signal of the Asgardian ship from the beginning of the
Yeah,
movie.
that was a yeah. They heard it and they're going to try to help.
Right.
And conveniently, they run into Thor.
Yes.
It's one of those
Literally
moments that you
run
can't
into
think
Thor.
about too much,
Yeah.
I feel like.
They
Because it's like,
literally run
man,
into Thor.
Yeah.
out of all of the odds.
Yeah. In the
Yes.
entire universe, that they just happen to be the only ones in the vicinity.
Right?
And Thor is the only body that runs into their windshield.
Exactly.
Although I guess it would be hard to be a PG-13 movie if just bodies were raining against their ship as they were flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But then they bring him in, and Thor's just like, Star-Lord's just like, who is this dude? And then Drax is, or not Drax, some disembodied voice is just like, this is not a dude. You're a dude. This is a man. He looks like a pirate, and an angel had a baby, and this was the outcome.
Yeah,
Drax says this.
I still don't know why there was a disembodied voice in the
their love of
really
Thor
weird.
and how muscular he is cracked me up
Yeah.
both times I watched it.
Yeah.
And then Star-Lord's like, you think I've gained weight?
So we have Thor. We have the Guardians. They interact with each other. Thor is on his way to exact revenge by going to replace his hammer. And he convinces
Rocket, and Rocket's just like, Groot, get your ass over here.
Well,
And
yeah,
he's just like, I am Groot.
They're the inseparable couple. So he convinces Rocket to take him to the place that I have a rough time saying.
Niveldalir.
Thank you.
Nivelfur.
Nivelfluffer.
Nippelheim.
Nippelheim. That'll work.
Okay. So they're going to Nippelheim.
Yep. So they split up, and Star-Lord and the rest of the crew are going to where?
Nowhere.
That's right. They're going to go visit the Collector.
Mm.
Yes.
On Nowhere.
To try to get the Reality Stone from Thanos.
Yes.
Try is the key word there.
Right. Because they, of course, fail.
Spoiler
and in between
alerts.
that, there's a flashback to when Thanos took over Gamora's home planet.
Right. So now we're getting some exposition into Gamora and where she came from and why she has become Thanos' daughter.
And also what Thanos is doing and what he's trying to do by getting the Infinity.
Yeah. So on, what is the world called?
I don't know.
Okay, hold on.
What? Gamora's world?
Yeah.
I don't think it ever came up under, like, it didn't have a title for it. They didn't name it.
New Jersey.
Yes.
New Mexico.
No,
New
that was where
Metamoris.
your movie came.
Oh, yeah.
So they didn't mention it in the movie, but it has been established that Gamora's place of birth is Zenwaberi, which is in the Silicon system in the Milky Way.
Zenwaberi?
Zenwaberi. Yeah.
Is it all one word, too?
Zen, Zen-WHOBERI. So it could be Huberry.
Zenhuberi.
Zenhuberi.
That's a terrible name for a planet.
Well, they're not, I will say this, they're not well known for planet naming.
Yeah. You just throw a bunch of letters together and you're like, I don't know, Zargle Flack.
Zargoflogger.
7.
Zargoflaf McFlufflebutt.
7. You add numbers to them, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, on Zen, her planet is destroyed.
Not the planet isn't destroyed.
But what we established that Thanos his whole mindset is that the universe itself is completely overpopulated, and the only way for it to self-regulate and rectify is to literally wipe out half of the species in the universe.
Yeah.
Half the life in the universe, basically.
Yes.
Which is, we learn later in the movie, that is what he was trying to do by sending Loki to Earth in the first Avengers movie.
Right.
But, the Avengers came and did their avenging.
And that's the other thing about, his plan. The only way that he could make his plan come to fruition is by collecting all of the gems for the Infinity Gauntlet.
Because otherwise it would just be a very long time.
Oh, yeah. It would be completely impossible to do.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes Thanos so interesting as a character.
Yeah.
Though, is what his motives are for doing it. Because he's not entirely evil.
No.
I mean, his ideas are the exact same ideas that the Illuminati and the New World Order have here on Earth. Right. Which is to call the population to a more manageable amount of people.
Yeah. I mean, if you believe
Well, I'm going by the Georgia Guidestones, which were created by somebody they think is part of the New World Order.
Right.
And those say bring the population down to 500 million.
Right.
Or something like
that.
But
really, all the Illuminati want is just really good popcorn. That's you didn't know that's what they're striving for. Oh, by the way, I got inducted into the Illuminati.
Yeah,
and it's all popcorn
I listened
related.
To the podcast.
What was it?
It's all popcorn related?
Yeah, it's all popcorn related. It's the damnedest thing.
Huh.
All they want is the perfect bag of popcorn.
Like they're hunting for it, or they?
Yeah. And all of these years, it's never been done.
Should you be telling us this?
I mean, whatever,
The
I mean, they
loose.
inducted me, but I just now the more that I talk about it out loud, the more that I think that they were just fucking with me.
Are you sure it's the Illuminati and not Orville Redenbacher?
It might have been.
It might have been Mr. Redenbacher.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, he did have thick-rimmed glasses.
And a red and white striped suit.
Yeah.
That sounds more like the Illuminati, actually.
Okay, back to Thanos.
Okay, fine, Bucky. It's like we
But
have you on
he-
this podcast for a reason or something.
Right? But he was a better villain than any other villain in the MCU, because he wasn't evil for the sake of being evil, like Red Skull or Ironmonger or something like that.
Yeah,
He
it's less of
literally
a
thinks what he's doing is right,
it's less of a world domination thing and more of a
helping people. He
a
thinks
balance.
he's helping people.
yes, a balance of the universe.
He's not wringing his hands and saying, ha ha ha.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Which
he
is
had,
why
a,
he's
he had a
such a good
code, which
villain.
I appreciated, too.
What was it?
He had a code, which I appreciated.
Yeah, for sure.
Later on in the movie, whenever he's sparing Iron Man's life, he could have easily turned on Doctor Strange after Doctor Strange gives him the time stone. Instead, he doesn't. Instead, he's like, no tricks? Okay, well, I'll see you later then.
Yeah.
I'll leave him alive.
Yeah. So, continuing on, we get past the flashback scene, and what happens?
They are. I think it goes back to Vision and them.
Okay, so this is where we get the introduction to Vision and Thanos's
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, and Scarlet Witch,
And then
Thanos's hold on, and Thanos's baddies come down. They engage Vision and Scarlet Witch, and then just as we're seeing Vision and Scarlet Witch get ready to be captured,
My one
enters
true love shows up.
enter
Steve
Captain
Rogers?
Yes, Steve Rogers, Captain America, Black Widow,
And Falcon.
and Falcon
And
to-
other guy.
to save the day. And ancillary hero character. So they put Thanos' minions into place. They rescue Vision, and they head off to Wakanda to...
No, they go to the Avengers facility first
Oh, do they? Okay.
and get
to
Rhodey
meet up
and
with War
Hulk.
Machine.
Oh, that's right, yeah. So we
Then get
we
told off by the guy from the Incredible Hulk, and Captain America's just like, fuck you. The fate of the universe is at stake.
Right.
Go kill yourself.
Yeah, because, he basically tells him, you step foot here, you're getting arrested, doesn't he?
Yeah.
This was another part that was kind of murky in the Handycam video I watched.
Right, okay. So yeah, what happens, they go back to... Where is Rhodey at again?
The Avengers facility. They don't say specifically, but it's in like upstate New York.
Okay, gotcha. So they head back to the Avengers facility and take Vision there. Because at this point, Vision is damaged, correct?
Yeah.
So they're trying to keep him safe. Rhodey is there talking to Colonel...
Mustard.
Colonel Sanders.
Hold on.
I'm pretty
Hey,
sure it's
you-
Colonel Sanders.
Ross.
Oh, yeah, it is. Because it's Betty Ross's.
Yeah.
Thaddeus
Is it
Ross.
Colonel Ross or is it Commander Ross?
It's Secretary Ross.
Oh,
No.
that's right. He's the Secretary. Secretary of Defense.
Okay.
So yeah, Rhodey is talking to the Secretary of Defense, and
They have no idea what's going on.
they have no idea what's going on. They have no idea that Thanos is coming or any of this. Enter Captain America. He said,
And team.
and team. He's Commander Ross says, I'm going to call him Commander from now on. Commander Ross says, you need to be arrested, and tells Rhodey to arrest them. And he says, I'll get right on it, and then shuts him down.
Okay.
Yep.
And it's a warm greeting for everybody, and then they decide, right?
Yep. Then Wakanda.
Then they decide to go off to Wakanda to see if there is a way to extract the gem from Vision without killing
Yeah.
him.
Because they realized that Scarlet Witch could destroy the gem herself.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
the Vision wants her to do that. That way Thanos can't get all of the gems. But is it Bruce that's like, hey, wait a minute, you have so much
Yeah.
personality and different things in you that we could probably remove that gem and you could still be alive.
Yes.
But I
So
can't
that's
do
why
it.
they decide to go to Wakanda, because
And
Captain
then it
America.
cuts to Wakanda and Michonne from The Walking Dead and Black Panther giving Bucky his new vibranium arm.
Right.
Okay, so I haven't seen Black Panther. Is Captain America in Black Panther?
No, he is not.
So
No.
how does he know about Wakanda?
When
Because at the end of Civil War, they take Bucky to Wakanda to try to get all the Hydra brainwash stuff out of his head.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah,
It was
it's at
the
the.
end
It was
credits scene.
the end credit scene.
Okay.
They take Bucky to Wakanda because of Wakanda's high technology.
Because Wakanda.
Yeah,
Okay.
to remove all of the Hydra brainwashing. So they have left Bucky here in Wakanda, where he is living out a pretty solitary life out in the wilderness, in his own little cabin, just cutting wood and all of this and that and the other. And they call him the White Wolf.
Yep.
And which I read somewhere, and now I don't remember where I saw it, but that is kind of a pertinent callback to something or another that I don't recall at the moment.
Okay.
So, for the people who know what I'm talking about, great. For those who don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's
I
not
don't
that
know what you're
important.
talking
Not
about.
that important.
I rarely know what you're talking about.
So they give him a vibranium arm, and he understands that this is his call to action.
Yep.
And now Bucky is recruited to fight Thanos.
Yes, I was. I'm kidding.
Remington just shook his head.
Just shook my head.
Silently shook his head at the microphone.
He's just like, God damn it.
So where do we go from here?
I think back to Thor, Tree, and Sweet Rabbit.
Right. Right. So they get to Niflheim.
Yes.
Niflheim.
Nippleheim.
Nibelheim.
Nipple hopper.
Nibelheim.
Yeah.
To find out that the
Yeah.
forge is dark.
Yes, it had gone out.
And
I don't know how you can turn off a neutron star, but you can.
at this point, we discover that Thanos had arrived. The star isn't shut down per se. The star still exists, but it's like they built a,
Yeah.
what
It's
are
like
they
a Dyson
called?
sphere.
Yeah, thank you. It's like they built a Dyson sphere around it to harness the energy, and the Dyson sphere is shut down.
Yeah.
So
And then you find out that Peter Dinklage, and he made the gauntlet.
he made the gauntlet, and he was the only dwarf that was left over because, as we have talked about in previous episodes, Thanos builds in a way to defeat him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that one series.
Unknowingly, but yes. Then Thor convinces him to help them create a new hammer.
Right. And the only
They
way to
get
do
it
that,
out.
the only way to do that is for Thor to restart the sun.
Because did they cut his hands off, or did they crush his hands, or
He
what was the
says-
issue?
When he got done with the gauntlet, Thanos killed every other dwarf on there, but because Eitri, Peter Dinklage, made it for him, he's like, your life is yours, but your hands are mine, and then he cuts off his hands.
Right.
Which is kind of a dick move, Thanos.
Yeah. A little bit. A little
And
bit of
now
a dick
he
move.
has like metal hands
Yeah.
for some reason. And so then Thor convinces him to help make Stormbreaker,
Right.
the new axe hammer combo. meal.
Right.
And then they go to restart the forge. They do it, and then the aperture that the energy goes through breaks.
Yes.
And Thor is just like, how long do you need it open? He's like, I don't know, a few minutes? He's like, I'm going to open it.
That's suicide.
That'll kill you.
You'll be killed. Yes, only if I die.
Right.
That's what killing means. And then he goes, they do it, they melt the metal, which I believe is Uru, and then they put it into the mold, and then Thor's like half dead.
And the only thing that
And
will
then-
help to revive him is the power
Is the hammer.
of the hammer.
And then they break it out of the mold, they can't find the handle, and Groot is just like, this is my time, and picks up the parts of the hammer, slams them together, and using his arm, and then just cuts his arm off.
Yeah.
That's
the
such a
hammer is
badass
there.
part of the movie, too.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
It's
And
so
it-
great.
I love it too because it's really a callback to Groot's inherent goodness. You know, in the comics, Groot originally started off as a
Villain.
Yeah.
but in this rebuild of the universe, he has always been good, I believe. So
Mhm.
it shows the inherent goodness of Groot that even though he's in his teen angst phase, he still knows, hey, this is something that needs to happen, and this is going to cause me a little bit of pain, but it's okay because I'm doing
can
the right
regrow.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, really,
And
it's not a
then-
huge loss for him.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. I mean, it's a very small sacrifice as far as Groot goes because he can just regenerate. But
Yeah.
and then like you see Thor's hand like open, and the hammer just like lifts up and starts like just electricity starts bouncing off it, and then it cuts to Wakanda.
Right.
And they're or no, that was after they start getting the battlefield ready.
Right.
In Wakanda.
Right. Yeah. So
everyone gets there.
Cutting back
the stuff.
So cutting back to Wakanda, in between these scenes, we have them kind of devising a plan as to engaging with Thanos' forces that are quickly falling upon them. And while this is going on, they are working to try and remove the gem from Vision's head.
Yes.
In order to save him.
Which will take time.
It will. It will take time.
I have to say,
Bucky.
This was probably my least favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
The Wakanda stuff. And I think it was mainly because I haven't seen Black Panther.
Really?
So I had no connection to the characters.
Yeah.
And they're showing these characters. And so I can kind of sympathize with people who haven't seen a lot of Marvel movies, because I'm seeing all these characters in Wakanda and I have no fucking clue who they are, but the camera lingers on them like, yes, this person's important.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who this bald chick is with the spear, but they keep showing her over and over.
Michonne from The Walking Dead. She's the general of the Dora Milaje, which is like kind of like the security force that guards the Black Panther / King of Wakanda.
Okay, I mean, I got from the movie, from context clues, that she was important and she was like a private guard or something.
Right.
But yeah, I can understand somebody going into this having not seen them, constantly wanting to lean over to the person next to you like, who's that guy?
Right, yeah, for sure.
Like, I wanted to lean over to somebody even though I watched by myself when Peter Dinklage appeared. Like, why is Peter Dinklage here?
Because Peter Dinklage, that's why.
Yeah. So
but while this is happening, like Tony Stark,
Spider-Man,
Doctor Strange, and then
oh yeah, we totally forgot about all that stuff.
And then like Thanos takes Gamora while they're in nowhere.
Right.
And
so we at this point Thanos has grabbed the Reality Stone.
He has the Power, Space, and Reality Stone. And he got the Reality Stone from the Collector.
Right. So going back to nowhere.
Yeah.
We have the Guardians of the Galaxy descending on
the morons.
On Thanos.
The morons descending upon them.
Yes, on Thanos. In Nowhere. Nowhere is completely bereft of people at the moment, but it looks like...
Other than the Collector and Thanos.
And so they go to attack Thanos, and Gamora decides that she's going to lead the way on it.
Yeah.
And we find out that Thanos has already liberated the reality Stone. He shifts reality into thinking that Gamora has actually stabbed and killed the Mad Titan, which he didn't. And he changes the reality right in front of them. Before she engages him, she says, listen, if this goes bad, Star-Lord, I want you to kill me.
Yeah.
Don't fucking hesitate. Just kill me.
And she says, I know something. I can't tell you what it is or he'll get you to.
Yeah.
But just kill me.
And the secret that she knows is the location of the
Soul
Stone.
Yeah.
So he captures her. Star-Lord actually, after some waffling, decides to go ahead and try and kill her. He pulls the trigger to kill her and bubbles come out.
Yeah.
So good. The Reality Stone. And the other thing that I like about this particular scene is that Thanos is not without a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like, he fucking has bubbles come out of his
And then
gun.
also, when Star-Lord came out, he was just like, oh, boyfriend.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, I like to think of myself as a Titan-killing, long-term booty call. But yeah. And then after he goes to shoot Gamora and bubbles come out, and before Thanos and Gamora just like poof out of there, he's just like, I like him, and then poofs out of there.
Right.
Yeah. So let me ask your opinion on the Soul Stone here. Well, we'll get to the Soul Stone. Continue.
Remington knows my reaction to the Soul Stone.
I don't remember, so it's cool.
When I flip the fuck out?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I remember now. So Thanos disappears with Gamora.
Goes to his ship first.
What?
has Nebula entrapped.
Yes, yes.
And then, in order to keep Thanos from killing Nebula, Gamora's just like, okay, fuck it, it's on Vormir, let's go.
Yeah.
And then they go.
So I lost it. Never mind. Sorry. I had a
Soul
thought.
Stone.
I had
Soul
a
Stone,
thought.
Vormir.
I had a thought that wasn't
Walking up a
involving
mountain.
that.
So
The Soul Stone is on a planet that
has never been mentioned before in the movies.
Yes.
There was so much conjecture going up to it that Heimdall had the Soul Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Were you in that camp, Bucky, before this happened?
Like I said, I don't go into a lot of the fan theories and stuff, but that did cross my mind after watching Thor because Heimdall has the orange eyes.
Yeah.
And then also I thought could have been in Wakanda because in Black Panther, in order to get the powers of the Black Panther, you have to eat this herb thing, and it takes you to an ancestral plane where all the souls of the past kings are. So that's what also made me think it could be there, but I wasn't like, oh yes, it's definitely here, and if it isn't, I'm going to be pissed.
Right.
So
I mean, it's very interesting to think that there would be 3 Infinity Stones on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that would just be a little convenient.
Well, I mean, they managed to keep it a secret really well, because when you saw it opening night, Bucky, so what happens when they get to the mountain? You were super excited about that, so we'll let you talk about that.
When
Yeah.
they get to the mountain, they walk up. This Dementor comes out of nowhere. He's just
Right.
floating there.
Yeah.
Because I leaned over to Rem and I was like, hey, look, it's a Dementor.
Yeah.
And then the guy's called the Stonekeeper. And then he just lands down, walks forward a little bit, and the light shows who he actually is, and it's Red Skull. And I flipped the fuck out.
Yeah.
Rem looked over and was like, Bucky, you need to calm the fuck down.
I did.
My other friend who went with us, Cole, thought I was having a heart attack.
So this
When
caught
in
you
reality,
totally
I
off
had the
guard.
strongest nerdgasm of all time.
So like Brandon said, this caught you off guard.
It completely caught me off guard. Because, like, I wanted Red Skull to come back because he's one from the comics. He's one of my favorite villains. And then also because you just never see him again after Captain America: The First Avenger.
Right. So let's recap on that real quick. When
Recap.
But
what happens?
Wakanda.
What happens
It's like
in the
Waka
first
Waka.
Avenger when Red Skull disappears? Like, is he in possession of?
He gets the Tesseract.
He gets the Tesseract. Right.
he had the Tesseract on the plane at the end of Captain First Avenger,
Right.
and in order to try to keep it and like have it be like, yeah, you're not allowed to get this, Captain America. He picks it up with his bare hand, and it just starts melting his fingers, and he gets beamed up into space. Which
Gotcha.
you find out in Infinity War, he was beamed to Vormir, and he found the Soul Stone. He's like, oh, I can get it. And then he found out you have to get it, but he couldn't. Because the way you have to get the Soul Stone is to give up something. You basically have to kill someone you love.
Yeah.
Because, like, soul for a soul. And the Red Skull loves nothing.
Right.
So
He
couldn't
becomes.
do it.
So
And
he
he was
becomes the
cursed to
keeper.
become-
Of
Yeah.
the stone. So that cuts back to Thanos, and he had brought Gamora along,
Yeah.
and Gamora is convinced that Thanos loves nothing, but what she doesn't realize is that Thanos actually has a lot of love inside of him
Yeah.
for certain things. He is not your
Like her.
he is not your titular villain.
Yeah.
He cares. He cares
Yeah.
that the universe is dying because of overpopulation. That's what makes him an interesting villain, is that his whole point of contention for the universe is that in order to save this thing that I love, I have to wipe out half of all living things.
Yeah.
And Gamora is one of these living things that he, in all of his power, took pity upon.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, whatever he saw in her, whatever sparked that flame of love in his heart, that exists for her. So Red Skull is like, yeah, you think that he doesn't love anything, but check this motherfucker out right now because he is crying. Guess why?
Grabs the arm, throws off cliff.
Yep.
Well, she goes to stab herself, which is such a badass move. She
Yeah.
manages to pull a knife off of him and goes to stab herself, and it turns to bubbles.
Does the knife turn to bubbles, or what is it?
Yeah, it turns to bubbles.
She takes the knife and goes to stab herself in the gut, and then looks down, and it's just bubbles. And
Yeah.
that's like the moment. She does a really good job because you see that fear hit her face immediately, like that fear and resignation of like, oh no.
Like, oh, I'm here for a reason.
Yeah, right before he grabs her and chucks her off the cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he does that. He is granted the Soul Stone, and now all shit is about to break loose.
Basically.
So before we continue with the rest of the talk about Avengers Infinity War, we got a very unique opportunity. A company by the name of Studio, which is based in Sweden. One of their representatives emailed us and said, hey, if you would like to try our product and then talk about it in a couple of podcasts.
Yeah.
And you may have heard in the beginning of the episode a commercial that I've put together talking about these. But I figured we'd take this moment to do a quick review. I have given these headphones that they have sent us to Brandon to try out. So we're going to break it down and do a quick review. I will also release an unboxing video that'll go along with this. The packaging itself is very nice. It's reinforced cardboard. It's layered up real well. It has magnets that hold it together. So plastic inlays. Everything was packaged very nicely.
Yeah.
And I had an option of different models to try out. And I said, Brandon, you're the one who uses headphones more often than I do. I have these big cans that I wear on my head when I'm editing and when I'm streaming. But you're the one who wears earbuds all the time. So I had you pick out a pair, and they sent us a pair for us to review.
Yes.
So this is a wireless Bluetooth earbud, correct?
Right.
It does have a microphone on it as well, so you can use it for calls.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you tell me a little bit of what ones we got and what you have thought of them so far?
So we got the Studio Tray headphones.
Yes.
And I've never had headphones like these before. The way that they're shaped is they go into your ear like a normal headphone would, not like the around the ear, but the ones that go straight into the ear canal pretty much.
Yeah.
And they're shaped to fit exactly where your ear hole is.
Right.
And then they have plastic around them that goes into kind of the man, I'm not very good with anatomy, so I don't know ears.
Hold on.
The carundulum. The carundulum of your ear.
So it has this kind of a crescent moon shape that sets in the concha.
There we go.
That's what it's called. The
yeah,
concha.
I knew it had a C in it somewhere.
I had to look up a picture of parts of the ear. So this crescent moon kind of sits in the concha, and that's what holds the earbud in place to shoot the sound into your brain pan.
Yeah, which honestly works really well for me because I've had Bluetooth headphones before that go around the outside of the ear to hold them in place, but because I wear glasses, having two things around my ear like that gives me a headache real fast.
Right.
Because the pressure just puts and starts like soreness that goes out.
So before we start talking about the sound of it, you, like I said, you wear earbuds a lot, so much so that you have in fact gotten swimmer's ear.
Yes, I've gotten swimmer's ear from the amount of headphones that I wear.
So, and basically what is happening there is as you go through the day wearing your headphones, you sweat inside of your ear canal, and that moisture builds up and causes you to get swimmer's ear. So first, what I want to know is how do these breathe for you?
These breathe pretty well.
Yeah?
Yeah. They definitely are more on... They create almost a vacuum when I put them on.
Okay.
So the sound is really insular.
Uh-huh.
I can still hear you, but it definitely blocks out sound.
Okay.
Whereas whenever I've worn headphones before, the kind that I got that ear infection with,
right,
those are the ones that slide very far into your eardrums or very far into your ear canal. These ones kind of just sit on the edge and barely dip in.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, they barely enter into your ear canal.
Yeah.
You're not like squeezing them in and pressure is holding them. The pressure of the nubbin is holding them. They're really like if you pull gently on it, it will very easily become free of your ear canal.
Yes.
So it's not penetrating into the ear canal so much, it's just sitting just inside of it.
Yeah, and then they have a cord that connects between the two of them that hangs kind of behind your neck. And they're Bluetooth headphones. I think we mentioned that.
Yeah, it's a Bluetooth 4.1, in fact. It has a range of 10 meters, a battery time of 9 hours if you're active, and 10 days on standby. It has a quick charging time of 10 minutes and 120 minutes for a full charge. And so how has your battery expectancy been?
It's been good. They have not died on me.
They have not died?
No.
Okay.
Whenever I use them, I'll use them for a few hours at a time.
Uh-huh.
I don't charge them every night, but
Yeah.
I do charge them.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm sure at some point they would have died,
Yeah.
but they've never died on me from when I've used them.
Okay.
And, I'll have them in. I don't wear headphones when I'm driving anymore,
Yeah.
but I have them around during the day whenever I'm taking the trash, doing the dishes, just sitting in the bedroom,
Right.
doing whatever. And I'll have them in for 2-3 hours at a time.
Okay. So as far as battery life for them, it's really good, but Bluetooth, it's still eating the shit out of your battery on the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Your phone is going to die way sooner.
Yeah, my
than...
phone is clutching its chest and coughing after a while, but the headphones are jogging in circles.
Right. So I mean, that's not a problem of the headphones. That's just the technology that goes into the phones.
Right.
So
until they invent a better Bluetooth.
So have you had any particular issues, things that you didn't like about the headphones before we get into the sound of it?
The only problem that I've had with them so far, they come with different attachments that go around your ears.
Right, different wing tips, I think.
Yeah, I haven't messed with any of those yet.
Yeah.
The ones that I have, after a while, especially when I'm eating, seem to work themselves loose and the headphones will fall out.
Okay.
So a lot of jaw movement. They're not the most comfortable, the pair that I have right now, but I haven't tried other wingtips.
Right.
I also have very weird ears, though. I had an elective cosmetic ear surgery done when I was 12 or so.
Yeah.
So my ears are not shaped like normal ears.
Gotcha.
They're kind of stapled more close to my head.
So
I don't have as much give that a normal person's ears would.
Yeah, you don't have quite the flexion as somebody else does. Was it the ears were just sitting a little further away from your head and they basically pull it in?
What, the surgery?
Yeah, the surgery.
Yeah, my ears stuck out.
Okay.
And so basically they cut a chunk out of my ear and then sewed it to my head.
Okay.
So more...
As far as it goes, the normal human, if you are chewing, it's going
normal human.
Someone who hasn't had this surgery. You're still going to have a certain amount of flexion up into your ear as you're chewing, but Brandon may very well have more of that flexion because of that surgery.
Yeah.
I think that's possible based on how the ear attaches to the head.
I can say specifically, I was eating pizza rolls and I was eating an entire box of them.
Good.
So perhaps eat half of a box for a lot of different reasons. Don't eat an entire box of pizza rolls while you're wearing the headphones.
Right.
And you might have better luck. Because it was about 3/4 of the way into this box of pizza rolls that I really noticed they were starting to work themselves out.
Gotcha. So now let's move on to the sound quality. Let's stack it up against your best set of earbuds that you've had versus your worst set.
Okay. Typically for headphones, I have dollar store headphones.
Okay.
I buy the $5 pair. I love them. They last me 3 months before I have to buy another pair.
Okay.
But they're $5. The sound is not great. So I would put that on the low end of headphones that I have.
Right.
High end, I used to own a pair of Dre Beats.
Yeah.
But they were the over-ear tin can ones.
Okay.
These, I would say, are a little bit under the Dre Beats as far as quality.
Mm-hmm.
But the Dre Beats themselves are normal headphones that they just jack up the bass on.
Yeah, they're very bass heavy.
Yeah, that's kind of their whole thing.
Right.
These headphones are really balanced, and that's what I like about them.
Okay.
Honestly, if I were to have to pick between these and the better headphones that I have, I would pick these because these are better in more circumstances.
Okay. So you like these for your daily driver then? But if you were listening to like a specific kind of music, or if you were doing, say, a long session of listening to music or something where you didn't have to do a whole lot of movement.
Yeah.
Or you were watching a movie, then the Dre Beats would be better. Is that a fair assessment?
Kind of. I mean, I'm not an audiophile.
Right.
So I can't really explain it in terms that make sense. I just know what I like and what I dislike, you know what I mean?
Right.
The Dre beats were good for certain kinds of music. If I was listening to any sort of hip hop or any bass heavy music, it was good.
Yeah.
Listening to podcasts, which is predominantly what I do with my headphones. So I listen to a little bit of music, but it's predominantly podcasts.
Right.
These are great for that.
Okay. So you get really good, clear vocals out of it when it comes to spoken word. Have you taken the time to listen to any music?
Yeah, I've listened to music through them.
When I was trying them out, because I got them in,
Ew.
and I tried them out before I gave them to you.
Yeah.
Because I'm an asshole like that. But they were delivered to my house. So
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give you that.
I had to take them out and charge them first so you could have them. And also I listened to them. What I enjoyed, because I listened to several different songs, and of course my music of choice is ska, which tends to be treble heavy.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of mid to high range sounds in ska. I will say that I heard things that I had not previously heard in some of the songs that I listened to.
Really?
Yes. I heard words more clearly, which was good. I mean, I know most of the words to them, but I could hear them more clearly than what I realized beforehand. And I was hearing different mid sounds and higher sounds that really added, and sometimes in a couple instances detracted from the songs that I knew and loved, because I was hearing some things going on in the background that I was like, oh, maybe that should have been actually mixed out of that. So in a normal headphone where I didn't really hear those, and everything sounds good. But when I was using the Studio Tray Classic Blues, it was really like, oh, there are some sounds here that I never realized were in this song.
Yeah.
So that was really cool to me, that I was experiencing music that I know and love in a different way.
And that's, I can tell you from owning nicer headphones before, that is a staple of nicer headphones, is being able to hear stuff that you wouldn't hear normally.
Right. So, yeah, and I'm the same way. I'm used to using cheaper headphones as far as it goes. I mean, I will take my cans outside to mow the grass with, but while I'm listening to music, I'm fighting all of the, mower noise and stuff like that. So even though my cans are a decent set of over-the-ear headphones, I can still hear the mower.
Oh, yeah.
It's, the decibel range on a mower is pretty loud. So even if I were to be able to hear this music in the same way that I was hearing it on the earbuds, I don't notice it.
Yeah.
When I'm out mowing. And honestly, I don't listen to a whole lot of music when I'm sitting here editing, because I'm listening to us.
You have to listen to us, unfortunately.
Yeah. So I have to hear all of this all over again. So on a scale of 1 to 10, then, what do you think of these?
From the limited time that I've used them,
because
I haven't really used them a whole lot outside of listening to podcasts, like I said, and a little bit of music.
Right.
I would probably give them 7.5.
Okay. That's a pretty solid score, I'd say.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I may change my opinion the more I use them. It may go up, it may go down, you know what I mean? But
right.
As it stands now, I'd give them a good 7.5.
So, as I said, we're going to do an unboxing video where I'm basically going to repackage these and do an unboxing video on it. And after that, Brandon will be able to switch out his wing tips and maybe find a better fit and feel, and then we'll come back in a month or so and revisit his continued experience with these headphones, because that's what we signed up for.
Yeah.
And I like to stick to my word. So what they asked for was 2 spots in our podcast over 2 months. So that's what I'm going to give them.
So
that's
we'll
why
do
you got
the unboxing, and then, like Remington said, about a month from now, after I've used them more, we'll see where we're at.
Yep. In the meantime, if you are interested at least in our initial review on it, if you click into the description below, there is a link that will get you 15% off of a pair. They are not inexpensive. They are $100 set of headphones.
They're nice headphones.
They are very nice. Their lowest cost ones are $80, and their highest cost ones are $110. Just looking at their collection right now. So you can get 15% off if you click through the link below. and use the promo code Dueling Ogres at checkout. If you are really looking for a nice set of Bluetooth headphones, then maybe these would be for you.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to spend money on headphones, especially $100 headphones, you might as well get these ones.
Yeah, it's not a bad pair to get for the price.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get 15% off if you use our code. So
yeah,
then you're not buying $100 headphones. You're buying $85 headphones.
There you go. So thanks so much for letting me stitch this in. And thanks to Studio for sending us a pair to try out.
Yeah.
We really
Hopefully
appreciate
this ad and
Yeah.
don't demand that we send them back.
I know that it was really weird for us to stitch like a straight up. It's an ad/review.
Yeah.
Like if you purchase a pair of these headphones, we don't get any kickback. The only thing that we have gotten is a free set of headphones to review.
Yeah.
So, if you buy something great, if it sounds like it's something that's up your alley, awesome. Get 15% off.
Yep.
If it's not, no harm, no foul.
Yes.
So let's get back into the meat and potatoes of our show and get back into Infinity War.
Let's go.
At this point, we can, I would say, safely return to Wakanda. Well, no, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about, let's go back to...
The Guardians meeting up with...
Actually, I was thinking more rewinding quite a bit and going to Iron Man and...
Saving Strange?
Saving Strange, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
that's
like
at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, that's...
We're all over the place.
Yeah, we are. So, rewinding the movie way back a bit, Strange, Iron Man, and Spider-Man all defeat Ebony Maw. They are on their way to Titan. They end up crash landing on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, the Guardians have regrouped after their defeat at Nowhere and also start to head to Titan.
Can I mention something really quickly?
Yes.
Also, while they are in the ship, and Tony's like, we need to go to Titan because that's what Thanos will least expect.
Right.
Doctor Strange doesn't want to do that because he has to protect the Time Stone.
Right.
That's his sole purpose. So, and this is it doesn't seem important, but this is a very important line, I think, for later in the movie. He says to Iron Man, he's just like, okay, Stark, we'll play your little games, but I'm going to tell you, if it comes between saving you, the kid, or the stone, I will not hesitate to let either of you die.
Right.
Yeah, that is a very important line.
I just think, and at the time it doesn't seem very important, but I feel like that's an important thing to mention.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the time it just feels like wizardly dick waving.
Right.
Yeah.
So they crash land on Titan, the Guardians regroup, they head to Titan, and during this time, Nova also escapes from Thanos' Nebula, sorry. Why did I call her Nova? Isn't she called Nova in the
No, Nebula.
comics?
Nova's a different character.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of somebody else. My apologies. Nebula regroups herself, and don't shake your head in disdain for me. Regroups herself, escapes from Thanos' ship, and also heads to Titan.
Yeah. She's the one who lets the Guardians know to go to Titan.
Exactly.
She goes over to that stand where she was kept, and so just like, hey, Mantis, meet me on Titan.
Right.
So then they all go there. They go in. Spider-Man's afraid that Mantis is going to lay eggs in his chest.
Yeah.
And then they each get a different person, and Star-Lord's just like, okay, I'm only going to ask this once. Where is Gamora? Iron Man's just like, okay, well, I'll do you one better. Who is Gamora? And then a disembodied voice is just like, no, I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
So they all meet up, and they think that each other are, to clarify what Bucky is saying, enemies when they first meet, because the Guardians of the Galaxy have not yet met the Avengers.
Yeah.
So
they have the classic comic book, two good guys meet each other, and they do a little bit of a rumble before they end up being friends.
Right. So they quickly talk through and discover that they're all on the same side, wanting to defeat Thanos, and an exchange occurs, which is very comical between the three of them, which is what Bucky outlined there.
Way to make it as clinical as possible, Remington.
I like it real
An
clean.
exchange occurs, which is humorous for humans.
for you mindless apes.
Let me reach over and grab some coolant.
And now everybody is just essentially waiting on Titan for Thanos.
Right.
To try to figure something out.
Yeah. Now, as they are working through their plan on what they're going to do to defeat this, Strange is meditating and seeing the different outcomes of what could possibly happen. There's something in the neighborhood
14,605,000.
You're fucking nerd. Okay, 14,605,000, and only one of them ends up with them on top. So, as we discover this information, we cut back to Wakanda. The big fight scene's going to happen on the planet Earth. We have Thanos' forces descend and start to engage the Wakandans, who have regrouped with all of the other heroes that are left on Earth, with Bruce Banner in the Hulkbuster armor. They start engaging. They decide that the only way that they're really going to have a chance, because the enemy is now trying to circle around the globe or circle around the protective barrier that sustains Wakanda, they decide to open one small area in the shield in order to bottleneck the enemy so they have a better chance of winning.
Yeah, so they know the enemies are coming, but we at least know where they're coming from.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's keeping them from getting completely surrounded.
Exactly. So it's incredibly good tactician work.
Yeah.
Tactical work.
They're coming straight at you, but they're also being bottlenecked.
Exactly. So that goes in this hecticness. The female
Black Order member?
They're all the Black
Proxima
Order?
Midnight.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what her name
Proxima Midnight.
Okay.
That you're talking about.
is? Proxima Midnight, then, the female Black Order member who is working under Thanos, she engages
Just
Black Widow,
Avengers.
and the Wakandan
Okoye.
And this is a bit of a distraction or is she the one who goes up to get Vision?
No, that was Corvus Glaive.
Okay, so Corvus Glaive, that's a bit of a distraction in order for Corvus Glaive to sneak into the capital and engage to get Vision.
Back when they went to get the stone from Vision and were defeated, they had stabbed Corvus Glaive. And so when they meet up before all the fighting starts, she makes them think that Corvus Glaive is dead.
Right.
So they're just like, okay, they have nothing to worry about. These are the two people we have to worry about.
Right. So Corvus is still alive. He breaks into the capital. He tries to get Vision, and Scarlet.
They wait till Scarlet Witch goes out to try to save them from those giant wheels of death.
That's right. Thank you. So yeah, they're launching these giant wheels of death through, and they're taking out the Wakanda army, and they're zipping back and forth across the field. And this causes Scarlet Witch to leave Vision's side. And at that point, Corvus Glaive takes the opportunity to engage Vision.
Right.
Okay, so now we're kind of caught up on that.
Yeah.
At that point that shit is hitting the fan. It looks like they are going to get Vision's Infinity Stone, and then Thor shows up.
Yep, and the best way possible, and that I consistently have the same reaction to every time I've seen the movie.
All right, so lay it out for us, Buck.
So they're all getting their asses handed to them in Wakanda. Back on Niveldalir, the hammer floats up, Thor's hand is open, ready to accept it. And then just out of nowhere, you see the Bifrost effect come down and just land smack middle of the battle in Wakanda. And then it's just Rocket, Thor, and Groot just standing there. Right. Hulk or Bruce Banner takes the helmet off and he's just like, oh yeah, you guys are screwed now. And then Thor just leaps with all the lightning and stuff and then just slams his hammer down onto the ground and everything in a big ass radius just dies.
Right.
And he continues to just go ahead and fuck shit up.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have all of this happening. It eventually comes to a point where everybody realizes that Vision has been engaged. He is essentially running through the forest, trying to hide for his life. So, Steve,
Banner
Captain America.
first.
Yeah,
Banner
Banner
goes first to try to help him.
Yeah, Banner goes first. He keeps trying to get the Hulk to come out. He will not, so he just tries to use the Hulkbuster armor to engage Corvus Glaive, trying to slow him
And then
down.
the other giant Black Order dude
Right.
just shows
Axe
up out
guy.
of nowhere.
Yeah, the axe guy.
Yeah.
who Bucky can't remember the name of.
I don't know it. I've never heard.
And
It's bugging me now that I don't know it.
so let's speed through that real quick and get to the point where Thanos arrives then, and I'll look that up.
So yeah, they do all that. They are fighting. Hulk will not come out of the suit. Bruce Banner's just like, oh, screw you, you big green asshole, I'll do it myself. Punches the axe guy in the face. And then the axe guy tears his arm off. He then shoves one of the hands from the Hulkbuster onto the giant axe dude, who goes and flies across the barrier of Wakanda and explodes.
Yeah.
Saving Vision from that guy.
Supergiant.
His
Yeah,
name is
looks like
Super
it.
Giant.
Yes.
No wonder
Wow,
they didn't
okay.
name him in the movie.
Oh wait, no. Supergiant is a member of the Black Order with telepathic abilities. She is apparently killed by Lockjaw. Okay, wait. Ebony Maw, Corvus Glaive, Black Dwarf, a member of the Black Order, has super strength, enhanced density, and impenetrable skin. So maybe it's Black Dwarf.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. So anyway, continue on.
But, then that's happening. And then it cuts back to Titan, where Thanos has showed up. Strange goes over the parts of the plan that need to be gone over, because I don't think he tells them everything.
Right.
And Strange is the only one there. Everyone else is hiding.
Yes.
Him and Thanos have an exchange, and then,
Everybody engages.
yeah, basically. And then some very comical fighting happens.
And
between
honestly,
just-
they have a really good run on Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the fight scene, I don't want to undersell it, because, we're kind of painting Thanos as this entity that
all
has,
powerful.
I mean, he has almost every Infinity Stone now.
Yeah, all but the time and mind.
Time and mind, exactly. So, I mean, he has an incredible amount of power. He can change what you're looking at to make you think that it's something else. But they get enough of a jump on him
Yeah.
that he doesn't have the wherewithal to make everything stop.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
managed to get him basically down to a knee.
Yeah. So
And then
they're
Magic.
they
Magic
get
kick.
they get to the point where they're finally trying to wrestle the gauntlet off. Mantis is on top of his head, reading his mind. She
And
can't
subduing him.
She can't help but blurt out the fact that Gamora is dead,
Yes.
which causes Quill to lose his shit. He loses focus. He fucks the group because it needed to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Because storyline, because plot.
I've seen a lot of people like Star-Lord totally ruined their plan. And I mean,
I don't think he did.
he kind of
personally.
did, but at the same time,
To
it
what
had to
everyone
happen.
else in the group, he ruined it. But to Doctor Strange, I think that's exactly what was supposed to happen in that one outcome.
Yeah.
People had to die in order for them to,
Yeah, I wonder how much of that is going to be explained in Avengers 4 with Doctor
Exactly.
Strange, and how much of it is just people using that as an excuse to cover plot holes and stuff.
Right. I mean, I think that that's a fair point to make, but at the same time, I am also when Strange's powers are immense.
Mhm.
He the Time Stone is all of space and time. It's all of this knowledge. So you can see the past and the future, and you have to. We've talked about shows and things of the past where you have to be delicate with the future.
Yeah.
You can never let too much get out
yeah.
of what you know of the future, because then you can change the future. And if he were to have said, this right here is the standing point where we will absolutely defeat Thanos, even if it wasn't, that could very well have changed the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically what Strange is doing in this instance is giving them the hope that they
He's-
can defeat him right
And
here.
the information they need to know.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to come out of here and do this, And then he just tells them their part and then just doesn't say anymore.
Right, exactly. Because you know for a fact that, I mean, with that many combinations of things that he saw, you know for a fact that he saw that Star-Lord wasn't going to be able to take Gamora's death.
Yeah.
I mean, because when it comes to timey-wimey stuff like that, emotion plays a very pivotal role in it.
And whether the future goes one way or another.
Yes. So, and anybody who has the ability to see the future, they know this. They know that emotion plays a big role in it. So the idea that he wouldn't have been able, like, I'm talking from a universal residual way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the universe will see that
future
because it's so emotionally poignant. Do you follow?
Yeah, I follow.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't speaking in circles.
Going too far.
Yeah. So
talking some hippie bullshit.
Yeah, so it leaves a really strong residual strain that there's no way that Doctor Strange couldn't have seen that happening.
I'm concerned that people are putting way too much into the Doctor Strange sees the future thing.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I say concerned. Obviously, I'm not actually like staying up at night concerned biting my nails.
Right.
But you know what I mean. I think that it's become kind of a catch-all for anything that happens in the movie.
Oh, well, I mean...
From that point forward, being like, well, it's all part of Doctor Strange's plan. And I think that it is.
Yeah.
Because Peter Quill kind of messes up them getting the Infinity Gauntlet off of Thanos.
Yeah.
So he starts kicking their ass, and it ends with him impaling Tony Stark through the chest.
Right.
He just is disintegrating the nanosuit armor off of him, stabs him through the chest, and then Doctor Strange offers up the time stone. And says, I'll give you the time stone.
Which he said he would not do.
Right.
Yes. So he says, I'll give you the time stone if you save his life. Thanos says, what I alluded to earlier, Thanos says no tricks.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange says no, gives him the time stone. He saves Tony Stark's life and bamps out of there.
Right.
Or he doesn't even save his life. He just kind of leaves him there.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't kill him outright.
Yeah, but he also is still impaled.
Sure.
Did you guys think that Iron Man was going to die at that point? Because I thought they were going to kill him.
I honestly,
part of me did.
I honestly didn't think one way or the other. At that, I mean, especially at that point, I was so very invested that I didn't want to. I don't think like that. Like, I don't think of, well, are they going to kill him? Are they going to leave him alive? I don't know what's going to happen. I just exist in that moment.
Okay. So
that's kind of how I tend to live life. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't read the news or anything.
So you had absolutely zero thoughts on it?
Yeah. I mean, as far as it goes, I wanted to see what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what was going to happen.
See, I thought he was toast. I thought that they were going to kill him up until the point where Doctor Strange gives the time stone. That caught me totally off guard.
Right.
I knew he was going to get the time stone because I knew how the movie ended already.
Right.
But I wasn't expecting him to just give it freely like that.
Yeah. And that circles back to the whole time thing where Doctor Strange saw this outcome.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, do they use that as a lazy man's plot device? Sure. I would agree with you on that, but at the same time, you almost kind of have to.
I mean, I don't think that the movie uses it as a lazy man's plot device. I think that people who are talking about the movie are using it as too much of a catch-all for things that just kind of don't make sense.
Yeah.
That the characters do, and saying like, well, Doctor Strange saw it.
Yeah.
Because like, if Doctor Strange saw everything that happens in these movies, then he knows exactly what's going to happen no matter what.
Right. But you don't think that he has the responsibility as the Time Stone's guardian to keep what he knows in a separate bubble from the rest of his life?
Like he shouldn't be telling everybody else what he's saying. Oh no, definitely he shouldn't. I don't know. I have a hard time thinking that Doctor Strange knows as much as people seem to think that he does about what's going to happen in the future.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything to back it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he said that there are, 14 million combinations that it could go.
Yeah.
So
at any point down the line, there could be 300,000 combinations that already end with him giving the time stone and Thanos destroys everybody, but something in the future further along in the movies is what makes the change.
Yeah. All right. We're getting now towards the end. Thanos bamfs out of there, bamfs off of Titan, appears on Earth. At this point, we are fairly certain that Vision is safe, and then Thanos shows up, shit hits the fan. He easily dispatches all of the heroes on Earth because they haven't had a chance to come up with a plan to get the Mad Titan, and they have no warning of his arrival.
That fight scene's crazy, too. I
Yeah.
mean, he's just like one-shotting every hero that's jumping at him.
Yeah, the only
Yeah.
one who gives him pause is the titular hero type, Steve Rogers, who catches his fist and resists him
For a moment.
for a moment, which makes Thanos have a very puzzled look on his face.
Yeah.
This puny human. I mean, he's not a puny human as far as humans go, but even still, just that he's able to hold him back for a moment
Yeah.
speaks to the power of the super soldier serum and Steve Rogers
Yeah.
and his dedication to the protection of the planet.
Captain America's really grown on me as a character through these movies.
Yeah.
I still think Captain America's kind of boring as a character.
Yeah.
I
But
hate you.
I like him more through these movies.
Let people
For what
have
he
their
stands
opinions,
for.
Bucky.
God.
No.
God, I thought that's what you fucking millennials were all about. You
Yeah.
I generations.
Well, Scarlet Witch gives him
I
pause
think-
too.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch gives him some pause as well. She's about the only other one that has, I would say, has the power enough to at least stand close toe to toe with him.
Yeah. So as Thanos,
I mean, not
is-
everybody's Squirrel Girl, but
As Thanos is wrecking shop, the Vision tells Scarlet Witch, "It's time. You need to just destroy the stone, and it's going to kill me, but you got to do it."
yeah,
So she is destroying the stone with one hand as Thanos is moving closer, and she's holding off Thanos with their other hand full of magic.
yeah,
And as Thanos is getting close, and I mean, you can tell how powerful she is because he is just barely moving as he's getting closer to her.
yeah,
She destroys the stone, killing the Vision
Yeah.
and destroying the, is it Mind Stone?
yes.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Destroying the
And
Mind
speaking
Stone.
and speaking of that, I remember when we went and saw it the first time, there were people in our theater who kind of cheered at that.
Yeah,
And what I really wanted to be like in the middle of the theater was like, do you guys not realize what stone he just got, you idiots?
right.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that coming from a mile away.
Yeah, I
as soon
saw
as
that
Vision
coming
died.
too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there was just, at that point, it was too late. You know, he already had the time stone. He could just rewind time.
Yeah, and he
Yeah,
did.
so which is what
Which
he
really
does.
sucks for Vision. He
Yeah.
died twice within like 20 seconds.
For sure.
So he rewinds time, reconstructs the Mind Stone into Vision's face,
Yeah.
just to then rip it out of the Vision's face
Yeah.
and throw his body, put it in, thus completing his journey and getting all 6 Infinity Gems.
And what I
Having
like
rainbow veins.
what I like about that scene is apparently that's a bit of an homage to when the Vision in the comics gets the gem taken out of his head. He turns white
Hmm.
after the gem is removed.
Okay.
So if you notice, when Thanos takes the gem from his head, he loses all of his color.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, because the Vision himself is very vibrantly purpled and greened and that sort of thing. So he takes that out and all the color leaves Vision's body.
Oh, that's a cool
And it was
homage.
it was like a little homage to that. So very cool. Thanos gets it. The long and short of it is we start seeing people disappearing off the battlefield, turning into dust.
Well, he snaps his fingers after Thor hits
Once
him in
Thor
the chest
stabs
with
him in the
Stormbreaker.
chest.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I completely forgot about the interaction with Thor. So,
Yeah.
so that happens. He gets the stone. Thor comes in out of nowhere
Yeah,
and,
basically.
and engages Thanos. Gets what's the new Stormbreaker?
Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
Throws it at his face and it goes into his chest.
Right. And Thanos is like, you should have went for the head.
And
then snaps his fingers and people start disappearing off of the battlefield. We cut to different places where people are disappearing. We
Yep.
cut back to Titan, and this was a very interesting look into it. Now, was it you, Brandon, or was it you, Bucky, that was telling me about the Spider-Man thing?
that was probably me.
Where
The reason Spider-Man's death, the reason it was so violent, and everyone else was just like, what's going on? Fade away. And, like, Mantis could feel it coming, but she didn't feel anything. Like, she knew something was happening.
Right.
But Spider-Man, he was like, physically, he was in pain.
And it took him
stuff
the
like that.
longest.
It took a long time.
It took him the longest because of his spider sense.
Yeah, he could feel it because of his spider sense, and then it was longer because of his enhanced healing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it was so violent for Spider-Man, and he could feel it. And oh my god.
Yeah, that was that was really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I was not expecting Spider-Man to die. So whenever I was watching the movie, that caught me off guard.
Yeah.
I knew some of the characters died, but I didn't know who. I'd intentionally kept myself from having those spoilers done.
Right.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man is arguably your favorite Marvel character.
Yeah, Spider-Man's my favorite Marvel
Okay.
character. Spider-Man or Wolverine, but mostly Spider-Man, yeah.
Right. So
And Groot fades away.
yeah, Groot
And-
fades away. We lose many of our heroes.
You know what Groot actually said to Rocket as he was fading away? His last "I am Groot."
What's that?
You know what that meant?
What?
James Gunn's announced what it said on Twitter. When he was looking at Rocket and was like, "I am Groot," he said, "Dad," and then faded away into non-existence.
Oh, really?
Oh, man. They're just
Yeah.
really pouring it on with the sadness.
Right?
Yeah, and then Groot said,
It's now a guardian of the galaxy
Yeah.
because Rocket is the only one left.
Yeah. Of the Guardians. So
Yeah.
all of the people fade away. Half of the universe is now dead, non-existent.
Cuts to
And
Thanos on whatever planet, sits down, smiles, and cuts to black.
yep. So
And then
we go
credits.
we go through the credits. We cut the end scene as we cut back to New York, where
Yep,
we
Nick
see.
Fury and Maria Hill in a car.
Go ahead, Bucky, since you're telling it.
They're in the car talking about the energy signatures over Wakanda. Like, they're the exact same energy signatures as New York, but 10 times, 100 times stronger.
Right.
And then a car just almost wrecks into them. And so they get out and see if the person's okay, but no one's in the car.
Yep.
And then shit starts hitting the fan. Nick Fury just turns to Maria Hill and's like, "Hey, call control," which they're alluding to damage control.
Right.
And then she dusts away.
Right.
And then he's just like, "Oh no," runs back to the car, reaches into his bag, gets out a pager, and just starts beating it, and then slowly fades away until he's just like, "Motherfucker." And then the thing falls down onto the ground, and it just zooms in. It's just like sending. Then a star, red and blue, show up, which
Yep.
is meaning Captain Marvel. So she has been notified that shit is hitting the fan.
Right.
So when people say a pager, is it literally a pager that he uses?
I'm pretty sure it's just a pager.
It's
that
really
goes
like a
straight into
high-tech pager, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's essentially all it is a high-tech pager.
That's awesome. Because I wasn't sure since I didn't see the scene. The pirate who filmed mine didn't think to stay for the credits.
Fucking
The
idiot.
bastard. I know, fucking idiot. There's
I
always a
think
scene
the
after the
first
credits.
opening night, I think only 2 people left during the credits.
Yeah.
Everybody knows at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I got up and I went and took a piss and then came back, but,
Right. So
and then,
that was the
Yeah.
end of Avengers Infinity War Part 1.
Yes.
then Avengers 4, Infinity War Part 2, or whatever they're going to call it.
Yeah. So in between then, so what movies are going to be coming out between then?
Next month, or either in June or July, Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out this year.
Yeah, which
And
is
then
going to
March
be
of next
taking
year-
hold on, which is going to be taking place before the Thanos events, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, if
They
I
haven't
remember.
I believe,
announced.
like,
They
just
haven't
before
said, but
Infinity
it would
War.
kind of have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've heard things saying that I heard an interview with one of the higher-ups, and they're just like, yes, and things that happen in Ant-Man and the Wasp will be vital what happens in Infinity War and Avengers 4.
Right.
So, and then Captain Marvel comes out next March,
Right. Now is Captain
which takes
Marvel
place in the 90s.
Right, that's what I was going to say. Captain Marvel is basically an introduction to the character, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to have her origin. Coulson's going to be in it.
Okay, cool.
Nick Fury's going to be in it.
Maybe with his eye intact.
Yeah,
Nice.
from the pictures I've seen.
Nice.
Which I just run into on Instagram and stuff
And
like
she
that.
will
but-
be wearing a green and black outfit, I believe.
which is an homage to Marvel, which
Okay.
is the previous incarnation of the character.
Oh, okay,
It's-
cool.
In the comics, she has a origin story very similar to Green Lantern in the DC comics,
Yeah.
and Marvel gives her the power, and then she's like, "Yay, power!" and then fucks up some scrolls or whatever.
Okay, gotcha. So that wraps up our Infinity War episode. If you have any questions, or thank you, Bucky. I cut myself off. Thank you, Bucky, for coming in and bullshitting with us about Infinity
You're
War.
welcome.
I appreciate your nerdy expertise and your excitability.
Yes, I have a lot of that.
So if
I was
you
actually
have,
at GameStop.
yeah,
I was actually at GameStop yesterday, just bullshitting when I was getting my oil changed over at Walmart, and someone walked in there and pulled out a shirt, and I went on a 10-minute long explanation of who Black Bolt was. So I have a lot of nerdy expertise.
nerdy expertise.
If you ever need it, give me a call. You know how to reach me.
So, if you have any questions or comments, or you'd like to hear yourself on air, you can call us at 978-DU-OGRES. That's 978-386-4737. Bucky is actually the last person to call in. So, no, Dave was the last person to call in. Dave Musgrave was the last person to call in. And Bucky called in before that. So, we appreciate those calls. If you want to ask us a question, if you want to tell us how wrong we are about all the bullshit that we talk about, by all means. Let us have it. You just get in there and let us have it.
You just do it, mister.
You just do that, mister. You just walk right in here and do it. You can also reach us on Twitter at Dueling Ogres, email us at duelingogres@gmail.com, or reach us on the Facebook page like these nice people. Brandon?
I have two comments from Viscount Terry W. Irvin II.
Okay.
Who said, listen to the early part today. This is an excellent book, especially for kids whose pet dog has passed away. There's one for cats, too.
Okay.
He graciously linked me to a book called Dog Heaven. Last episode, I talked about my daughter losing her cat and having to have that discussion with her. She got a kitten. I don't know if last time we talked, she had a kitten already.
No, she did not, but
she got a kitten. She named it Time because time heals all wounds was her reasoning for it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty adorable. So she has this kitten and she's healing with the help of a kitten Band-Aid.
Okay.
He also said, definitely Rim no man bun. The funniest part of the episode, you guys commenting on the Wizard in the Wardrobe's comment from last episode. I noticed that she didn't listen to this episode to comment. So I think that speaks volumes about her interest in the podcast.
My response to Terry was, if you are familiar with Animaniacs, where Yakko would go, "Mwah! Good night, everybody."
Yeah.
That was my reaction to it. Because if that was the funniest part of the episode...
And then Diamond Man Stephen Hines said, great new show. You know, Brandon, if you had a MacBook, ... because my computer kept having issues.
Right, yeah.
They said, anyway, hashtag reporndar again.
So, Bucky, how's Porndar? I noticed you recently said in the Discord, which you can also get a hold of us on the Discord and bullshit with us there. But you had started a save file of Porndar and then it got corrupted?
Yeah, for some reason, I started a new one on started one on Skyrim. I played through it. I didn't play too much crap to do that day.
Right.
And then I tried to get on. Yes, I can't remember when it was. I tried to get on the other day, and the most recent save on there, I'm just like, because I have a couple different characters, going just crash, went straight back to the home screen on the Xbox. Then I was just like, okay, I did it again. And then I tried an earlier save and it did the exact same thing, so it just corrupted itself. So I wasn't too mad since I didn't get too far.
Right.
So I just started a new one.
Okay.
And this new save of Porndar, I did it, I went in, and I was going through the vanilla start, and if you've played Skyrim, I went into the castle after the dragon attacks, and it crashed again.
Oh, wow.
Someone really doesn't want me to play as Porndar.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Porndar's
thinking.
cursed.
Yeah, for sure.
After that, I kind of just gave up and was like, fuck it, played my other character, which worked perfectly fine.
That's
and
weird.
I don't know why.
That's weird.
Stephen King-esque curse.
Yeah,
I'm telling
for
you.
sure.
Something like that.
All right, make sure you go over to our website, duelingogres.com, for news, shows, and articles pertaining to some of your favorite geek news. I kept saying that Bucky was going to write an article, but he never has, so thanks
I'm
a lot,
sorry.
Bucky.
I have time now. I haven't had time.
There was time now. And finally,
Now I have actual time.
he doesn't get that reference, but you and I do, Brandon.
Yeah, I get it. I love that episode.
I don't know what you're saying.
And finally, be sure to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or find us on YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or nearly anywhere else, any podcaster app that you have. We're there, floating around, waiting to stick nerdy words into your ear holes, greased up or otherwise.
On Spotify?
Yep, we're on Spotify too.
Did you know Spotify is the second most listened to podcast app?
Oh, really?
Mhm.
That's fascinating. And what's the first?
Probably iTunes.
Oh, yeah, probably iTunes. Yeah, you're right. You're right, and when you're right, you're right. So until next week, Ogres, keep your clubs blunt.
And your tusks sharp.
Good night.
Of nothing. There is no recording being done.
Okay, now it's on.
Now we just started recording, so
Oh, okay.
scrape everything we said.
Yeah.
Oh, my lord.
Let me put it in
I
your
don't think
pooper.
I'll ever be able to unhear that. What?
Huh? Huh? What? Okay.
Are you doing a fucking
Are
timely
you Lil Jon?
Yeah.
Lil Jon reference?
Yeah. Timely. Timeless.
Yes, totally.
Time.
I listen to his music still, so.
Lil
It's not
Jon?
something to be proud of, Bucky.
Is he Little
I
John or
know.
Lil John?
Lil Jon.
Lil?
L-I-L.
Okay.
Yeah. I just like old rap music, okay? I'm
Because
sorry.
spelling is hard.
Lil Jon's not old rap music.
Well, he was my childhood rap music, okay?
I listen to
Which is
Louis
what
Armstrong.
I listen to. And I don't know what that was.
Yeah, that was...
Bucky, pick a word.
A word?
Yeah. Thank you for joining us as always on this blank Wednesday
Yeah,
evening.
I know the concept of it.
Okay.
I had one in my head earlier, and I can't remember what it was.
Have we done infinite yet?
I don't think so.
I don't pay attention to the words.
From what I can remember, I don't believe so.
All right, then we're doing infinite.
Okay.
And if we did it again, it's all your fault, Bucky.
But if we did it again, it would almost be funny
Oh, yeah.
that we're doing infinite multiple times.
Yeah. Multiverse.
Makes sense.
Multi-voice.
It's like the
Welcome-
Mandingo effect.
Welcome to the multiverse, true believers.
Hey,
I'm Stan Lee.
I got
I've
a
been
diaper.
drinking heavy.
I got a diaper and I can still fuck your mother.
She's a beautiful lady. A real woman.
Stan, can you please stop coming on to my mother?
Listen, you little whippersnapper. When I was your age, I was and that was it. And I still am.
From
What?
That's Stan. What the fuck are you doing?
Excelsior!
Excelsior!
That's what he says when he finishes.
Don't you want to be a true believer?
I can't use half of that.
Oh, God.
Outtakes.
Yeah, I forgot you were recording.
Hold on a minute. I'm going to turn off the fan.
Oh,
It'll
yeah,
get
shit.
warm in here.
Oh, man.
Nice
Can
and
I-
steamy.
I might take my pants off.
What else would be new?
Taking your pants off.
Taking your pants off.
Do we need to just do the intro again?
No, it'll be fine.
Okay.
I should be able to get most of it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Rem, I have something to go over before we go in beat by beat, so that the women must love you.
They do. Okay, so what I'll do then is I'll say, okay, let's get started on the movie, and then you can say, hold on a minute, Rim. I have something to say, or whatever you want
Wait
to
a
say.
minute, you piece of shit.
Wait a
I'm not
minute,
done
you
yet.
fat, ugly cock.
I will say those exact words. Okay.
All right, I'm getting ready to get back into it. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh my God, sorry. Hold on.
Okay.
My gut decided to shift some gas around,
Oh.
and it just in the worst possible places and ways.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was just incredibly painful.
Yeah, you look
I probably need to poop, but I think I'll be okay.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus. So, okay,
All right.
that's good.
Hi.
I was wondering if you were still there or not.
Yeah.
No, I was still here.
Do you like that rambling ad? I feel like we...
Nope.
It'll be cleaned up in post.
Yeah.
Probably. I assumed as much. This whole thing needs to be clean.
Yeah, it usually gets cleaned up really well.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell because I enjoy listening.
Well, thanks. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up then. So I think I said that.
You said that wraps up our Infinity War episode.